Do you have drama in your business? Issues with employees, your coworkers, your business partner? A lot of businesses have drama, and it's not necessary. My guest today is Tatiana Bowers, and she's a business relationship strategist, and she's going to talk to us a little bit about how to have a dramaless business. So, as always, I'm Dr. Lori McDowell, and welcome to Monday Mindset Mastery. And today's topic is a drama-free business. Hi, Tatiana. Thank you for being here.
Hi, Lori. How are you doing?
I'm
You're
doing
awesome.
Tatiana and I have known each other for almost 3 years, I guess, a little under 3 years, but we've gotten to know each other quite well in that time because we've traveled, three
Together.
countries at least, and we're going to hit a few more. So,
Yeah, we are.
so tell us a little bit about you, how you got, your journey, how you got to where you are today in this business that you run.
Well, I'm a therapist and have a bit with a business degree, which is very unusual. Most therapists are psychology over psychology when it comes to degrees. So I have a business degree, and I had a client that asked me to apply my couples therapy tools to their business when they started off with five people all together, including themselves, the husband and wife. And we went over their personalities. I did some mentoring of the leaders and helping them figure out how to lead with their own personality and their own ways. And they grew to 3 offices with 24 employees, and did it again and found out that each office had its own personality, and how one was really introverted, one was really sort of a mix of introvert and extrovert. And if you don't know what introverted means, it means you get your energy from being alone. You don't get your energy from people. And extroverted means you get your energy from people. So being around people and that type of thing. So most people are a combination, but most people side on one side or the other. Some are a little bit more extroverted, some are a little more introverted. But the first office had a whole bunch of introverts. I don't think it had one extrovert in there. And then you had this one office that was really a mix between introvert and extrovert. And then you had this one office that was really extroverted. And they love to do things together because they get their energy from being around people. So she was really concerned about the introverted office because they weren't participating in things. They weren't coming to things that weren't mandatory. And we found out, well, they were putting all their extroverted energy that they had into the client. So it wasn't something they had any extrovert energy to socialize. So she was able to understand them and mentor them in different ways. And she's grown to now 4 offices with over 30 employees. And she is not a leader type person. She was the last of 5 kids. She was never like, I want to go and conquer the world, but she loves mentoring her employees, and they've grown. And that's only been like in 3 to 4 years that they've grown from that to this.
That's a great story about your client and how she's been really successful. So clearly what you can do can help businesses. As you were talking, it reminded me of when I was in grad school, my PhD advisor was also the department chair in chemical engineering. And he had 3 little kids, like under 7 years old. And it's funny because he used to always tell his students that he was really good at being the department chair and head of the department because he took all the stuff he learned raising his 3 young kids and applied it to all the faculty in the school, and it worked really well. But I think that's true because, the stuff we teach kids and the relationships and meeting people where they are and letting people be their own personality seemed like it's something that would really help in business and working with other people, as opposed to just, the whole thing of relationships works in business, not just in being with kids or in being with your spouse.
Right.
So tell me a little bit. So you are a relationship counselor as a therapist, and what you've basically done is taking those skills combined with your business degree, and now you work with businesses.
I married.
You married. Good. Well, hopefully it's a marriage made in heaven and it lasts for a very long time. If you want, you can always divorce them and then you'll have 2 businesses. So tell me a little bit about like who is the ideal business for you to work with?
Well, I like working with businesses that are from 5 people to about 35 people. And I love businesses that are service industry businesses. They're serving people and they're having a lot of interface with people. They're spending time with people. Like the business that I started with is a speech therapist. They're, the client or the patient comes in and spends quite a bit of time. And when that happens, the teamwork and the dynamics of the culture of the office actually rubs off on the patients and the family member that may take them there or whatever. And that rubbing off, that exuding that atmosphere really makes a difference. So if the teamwork isn't there, if the teamwork is not so great, then the patient client feels not so welcome, not so great about their experience, and they may then make choices not to be there anymore and find another doctor or another professional. Mm-hmm. So places that are servicing people from doctors to med spas to childcare centers to other places where people tend to spend a lot of time, and the energy of the place really matters. Like I'll tell you, I do Orange Theory quite a bit, and I move around quite a bit, as you know, and different gyms feel different, even though they're all Orange Theory. All the it's supposed to be box brand type of thing. We're supposed to do the same things. Each gym feels totally different. I had a gym that I went to a lot of times in California, and I loved it. It was welcoming. They knew my name. They knew all about, they came and talked to me while we were waiting to get into class, things like that, right? And then there was this other gym that was in Florida that I went to, and it just had been taken over. It was an old gym that was actually just taken over, and it wasn't run very well, but the new owners were pretty much introverts. I could tell from, coming in. The only saving grace was the coach was great. The coach was welcoming and everything else. And then they didn't buy. They got a new front desk person that was totally extroverted, and it made a difference in the whole feel of the gym and how she wanted to be there or not.
No, that's so. I know most of us, if you go to a business, it makes, you walk in the business, and if the person at the front desk is welcoming and happy and cheerful and really feels like they're happy you're there, right, you don't mind waiting 20 minutes.
No, you don't.
But if the person, I've been to places where like the person at the front desk, I felt like, I was a bother. And right, it just makes the whole office feel good. And I don't feel terrible. The whole office wants to do it. And I think often the business owners don't realize how much an impact different, customer facing employees can have, that having the wrong person there that it faces with the customers can have a huge effect on their business. Right. And business owners probably don't pay attention to that.
No, this is one of the things that really gets lost in businesses is how is it client experience, customer experience when they come in and things like that. Like a front desk person should always be an extrovert, somebody who likes people, who gets energy from being around people and things like that. Unfortunately, because it's a very highly task computer type of job, a lot of times they find somebody that's introverted and very good at that kind of task, but not so great at welcoming patients or clients or customers in a way that makes them feel seen and respected and wanted.
So yeah, I can see I have a future as a front desk person if I ever want to change what I do, because I'm really good at the task and I love talking to people. So I may have to call my therapist. He's always looking for front desk help. It's like, do you need some help? So it's interesting. A couple weeks ago, I was at this reality show / entrepreneur incubator. And I think probably, I would say, more than half the people there would fit into your ideal clients, because while there were a lot of solopreneurs, maybe 20, 30%, I would say 70% of the people there had employees, had businesses. I mean, there were people, there was a med spa. There were people who have, actually a couple I want to introduce you to, I think, because they own a number of businesses, a laundry service, hotels, things like that.
Yeah, front desk people at hotels are huge. Have you ever gone to a hotel that the front desk person you feel like you're being brushed off?
Mm-hmm. So many of them
stay very well.
Yeah. But one thing that was interesting is the people there that were teamwork. Some of them brought, if you were allowed to bring, if you had a team, you were allowed to bring one other person. And a lot of them were actually couples, married couples working together, or best friends, close friends working together. And I can see that those situations could conceivably lead to a lot of drama. So that's something that you work with, particularly the married couples or like close friends who suddenly go into business together and find that it may not all be rosy.
One of the things is don't mix, friends with business, or, family with business, because it's such a tricky thing. And so many businesses do, especially small businesses, are run by family and family members. They get a job there because they can get a job there, and, and then you don't know how to run them, or you're afraid of, it's your sister's son that you're now employer of, and you're going like, I really would like to fire them, but, I can't get upset. My sister would be so upset, or something like that, type of thing. And the thing is, this isn't just about customers, but it's about customer retention. Do you know it costs 5 to 7 times more expensive to get a new client than it is to get to keep an existing client? So you're spending so much more money on marketing and getting this new client into your office than keeping the clients that you already have and making them your best referral source. So that's a really big expense that you're spending, but you don't always realize it. And the other expense that comes up, sorry, had to itch my head, is the expense of productivity. Even non-service businesses can use my services because productivity goes down when the tension in the office goes up. So you could be losing about 30% of your payroll to lost productivity and lost communication and strife and other things like that. So if you have a payroll, and I'm just giving you simple numbers so it makes it easy for everybody to understand, but if you had a payroll of $300,000 a year, that's $100,000 you're losing in lost productivity. I don't know about you, but $100,000 is a lot of money to lose.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I think, you talked about retention, and that was, even at the entrepreneur incubator, retention was one of the main
really
talked about. But yeah, customers, your customer experience, your customer success rate. It wasn't just supporting your customer, it was making your customers have an incredible experience, so they want to stay with you, so they want to refer people. And that was one of the keys to running a successful business, is having customers that keep coming back. And I know, for me, that's one of the reasons why I switched what I did a little bit. I was coaching, and I was coaching corporate women, and it was getting very frustrating because these women would come and they would love what I would do, and it would really help them. And yet when it came to like them stepping up to something else, they weren't yet ready to commit. And it's like, okay, is it me or was it them? But it was just like, then I'd see them 6 months later, they'd be back where they started. And it's like, well, if you're not willing to continue, and it was frustrating, but and maybe it was me, maybe I could use your, but it could also be that, customers don't know what they're getting and think they're going to get a quick fix.
No, so many patterns are made over time. So it's not like, even with my couples, I tell them, we may fix a problem in 3 to 6 months, but I really like to keep you going for another year, every month to catch any slide backs, to catch any ways of making, that you're not still going back to the old patterns.
Right. Yeah. No, most of us don't like get a physical once and say, okay, I'm good. You know, we go back once a year, every couple of years, because it's a way. But yeah, it's funny when we solve a problem, like in counseling or coaching, people
Right.
think, okay, I can solve the problem and I'm done. And it's like, no, you kind of need a little bit of maintenance, a little ongoing, just like your lawn. You don't get sod put down and then never cut it again. You still have to maintain it. Right. Yeah. In your car, you don't buy a car and then never do anything with it. It doesn't last. So I think
that's sort of how I relate to my clients. Is I say it's like car maintenance. It's like relationship maintenance. You have to do the maintenance to make it worthwhile.
So yeah, that makes so much sense. So yeah, hopefully, as a business owner, as an entrepreneur, and as someone who uses those people, I'm speaking to all the customers out there. Remember that when you do something, it doesn't, doing something once and it's amazing.
Yeah,
it doesn't last. You do have some maintenance. So you may not need the intensity of the beginning, but you do have some maintenance in everything. So let me talk to you a little bit about the process. I know you have a quiz that you use of some sort or a leadership. Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, actually, I have a free gift that I give out, which is my Chat for Success website. And it's a leader mind quiz. It's a 10-question quiz that helps you to realize what kind of leader you are when it comes to people. Not just what kind of leader you are in general, but what kind of leader are you when it comes to people and people dynamics. So it's just 10 questions. The 3 type of leaders are visionary, dynamic, and authentic. And the visionary has a vision of what they want, but not implementing it as well as they'd like to, or don't have the skills, or don't know how to do it. The dynamic is doing a mixture of things. They're doing some of the things are going well, and then some of the things with people could be improved. And then the authentic leader is more of the one that knows what they do and knows how to do what they do well, and also knows how to surround themselves with people that know how to do what they don't do well, So that's the authentic leader. So that's the chat that I have. But I just actually have developed a new one that goes into those areas even more, so that we can really get into exactly the areas that they have that could be causing them issues.
So it seems like the different type of leaders, if you're going to partner with some in a business, it would probably be good if you weren't all the same. Is that accurate? Or like if you're starting from scratch and you're looking for a partner, should you try to get someone that complements you or someone that's the same style with you? Because sometimes people have a team, but I think what you do can be really important as you're building a team as well.
Well, this is to really diagnose what kind of how you do manage people and that type of thing. And yeah, it would be nice if you weren't all visionary leaders and had an idea.
Sorry.
Dogs are, I know, I have a dog too.
10-pound mini dachshund puppy is just barking at the 100-pound cane corso. I'm terrified of the little 10-pound puppy. So
I have a 9-pound dog, and she thinks we used to have I used to live on a place that had these big Labrador mixed dogs, and she was the queen. So
I get it. Dog is hiding under my desk right now, afraid of the little 8-pound puppy. I guess the puppy is what type of leader would that be?
Alpha.
I guess you were talking about, I can see how being a bunch of visionaries, you wouldn't get much done.
You would all be going you'd be a little dysfunctional, I would say. So I had an example of something that was really good, a good example of what could be done well. My grandson went to a dermatologist to get a wart off his hand, and he was really nervous about it. He tends to be a little bit on the scared side, or not. He's not the kid that's going to jump off of things that, is dangerous. So he went, and the doctor didn't talk about the wart at first. He talked about like Pokemon and things like that my grandson was interested in, then talked about the wart and how he's going to work on it. And my grandson was able to sit there and, be steady and be able to know what was going on and everything else. And he did really well. And my daughter-in-law was just so pleased that she was going, I'm going to refer everybody to this dermatologist because he's just so awesome. And the thing is that another dermatologist couldn't have done that, wouldn't do that, but they'd have to spend the same amount of time with an upset child. And so it's either you're going to spend it with doing the right things and doing the things that will make your, or you're going to do things that are like focus too much on what you're doing instead of the whole picture. And that will cause people to not be so happy with you.
Yeah, no, I can see that. Definitely makes a difference. Yeah, I had a similar experience this morning. I had to go get a blood test. And it was just such a pleasant experience because, there was someone actually in the office helping people if the computer wasn't working. And my appointment was at like 9:10. And they took me at 9:10. And I was done at 9:15. And it was like, so the person was so friendly. And it's like, I mean, I don't mind needles, but I know some people that could be a really traumatic experience. And for me, it was like, oh, well, this is great. I'm going to go there all the time. They were on time. They did what they said. They were pleasant. And I was home, quickly. And that just made such a difference. Yeah. And, when people don't think about that, and it's your client experience is important, but your, when you talk about retention, that applies to your team so much too. And my story of being fired. I had some pretty unpleasant employee experiences, shocked, things that didn't make sense. And even the client experience, 2 years after I've left my job, I have clients calling me because they don't know I'm gone yet, which is amazing. But talk a little bit about, the team experience and how that helps in retention and hiring and training and such.
Well, team experience can be you spend a huge amount of time, 40 hours a week, and most people spend in a job or more. And the environment that they're in is going to make a huge difference on their lives. So if it's tense, if there's strife, if there's different things going on, their concentration, their ability to function goes down. I mean, their cognitive functioning goes down, their ability to get things done goes down, and it makes it so that they're looking for a job more often than not on the background, waiting for that time for you to, for them to find something maybe better. And they're not putting their whole heart into it because why should they if they're not feeling appreciated, respected, and trusted?
Yeah, that's so important. Yeah, having happy employees really leads to happy customers too, especially if those employees deal with the customers. So,
can you imagine a stressed out employee going like, "Oh, I hate it here. I just got yelled at for something, or I just got, criticized for something and I'm never appreciated." Then they go to a customer and they go like, "Can I help you?"
Yeah, they're definitely going to pass that on. I mean, even if they don't mean to.
Oh, no.
Mirror neurons make it pass on whether you want to or not. So you mentioned you have a free gift, and so if people want to get in touch with you, Tatiana, want to learn more about what you do or get this free quiz, how do they reach you?
Okay, it's just easy. It's www.chat4success.com. And it has my landing page, it has my quiz, and it has a 15-minute consultation with me to just figure out what explain the leadership style a little bit, understand what you're going through, and be a support to you.
So that's chatforsuccess.com.
Yeah.
Okay, great.
Really easy.
Very easy. Chatforsuccess.com. We can put that in the comments too, but listen to the recording if you forget, chatforsuccess.com. So I want to talk about, there's something I do that I think dovetails very well with you do. And I am the retreat person. I do gun-free retreats. And I love retreats because they take you away from that work location. They take you out of the office. They take you out of the busyness, to getting anything done, the stress, and they bring you together in a place where you can connect, you can grow as a person, you can grow as a team. And I think retreats are an amazing team building experience.
Totally.
If you have, 5 to 20, 30 employees, I mean, doing a retreat for the team, paying for them to go away for 2 or 3 days, and maybe you have to do it twice because you don't want to leave your business closed, but maybe your business is closed you could do a 2-day retreat or even a 1-day retreat, taking those people and working on team building, working on get to knowing people. I think that's like a huge thing for having a great.
I think it's a wonderful way. I think it's really wonderful to be able to bring your clients employees on a retreat, even if it's just the leadership team or the sales team on one side or this team on the other side. You can do it for different, parts of the business so that you're not emptying the business because you need business. Yeah, it's a great way to do that. And, I could definitely do a lot of my things in a retreat type situation. So I look forward to the time that we can merge
work together and do that together.
Services together and make an awesome retreat for your businesses.
Right. So, and if you think a retreat is hard, I make it easy because I do all the detail. We do the agenda. Tatiana comes together. We do all the activities. All you have to do is show up and tell us who you want to be there. So if you're interested, contact me. Yeah, tell us who's coming. But it makes it very easy. So you can contact me, DM me, put something in the comments, or my site is if you go to yourextraordinarylife.net, you will find my free gifts, book a call, all that information. Yourextraordinarylife.net.
No, the way we can meld our business together is awesome.
Yeah, I think that'd be great. So team, I think, small businesses feel like that it's not that expensive. It's worth it. It can help you grow. You bring everybody together. And then you have and then all you need afterwards is that maintenance program. You don't need to have the intense training. You have maybe, once a month, a group call or something like that to keep it going. Okay, Tatiana. So we talked about how to get a hold of you, and we're just about done here. If there was one tip you would like to leave with the listeners before we go, what would that be?
I think one of them is self-care for the leaders. Leaders really need to focus on self-care, because if they're stressed out, if they're not dealing with things well, nobody's going to be dealing with things. It's sort of like the old adage, like if the wife isn't happy, nobody's happy. Same thing with businesses. If the leaders aren't happy, the owners, the managers aren't happy, nobody's happy. So really taking care of yourselves, giving yourselves time to rest, making sure you're, taking care of yourself physically, mentally, emotionally, in all those types of ways.
Oh, I love that tip. Yeah. So many people start a business because they want time freedom. They want to be able to do something they love. And then they get so involved in the business and that they forget about that. And I think that self-care is a big part of it, because you can run a business and you can have time freedom. You can you can go on vacations. If you run a business right, you can have all those things you thought about when you first started and thought about it.
My client, she just went to Japan, and communication between Japan and the United States is a little bit difficult at times. So she was able to leave her business for, I think, a week and be able to go to Japan and visit have a huge new experience in their life.
Yeah, it was really obvious at that week that I was at the Blocks reality show that the business leaders that had a good team in place, and they were fully focused and they weren't calling. And then there were those that you could tell were always on the phone to their team, always dealing with something. And it's like, okay, maybe you have to deal with emergencies, but if you have a good team in place, you should be able to leave for a week.
Yeah.
Well, this has been great, Tatiana. Thank you so much for being here. And thank you all for listening.
Yes, thank you.
On Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube. You can watch it again and again. If you have any comments, if you have any suggestions for future guests, if you want to be a guest on the show, let me know. I love to interview anyone who I find interesting and I like, and they have a topic we can relate to mindset. Next week's guest is still up in the air, but there are 3 people who are kind of thinking about it. They're all going to eventually be on the show, but once I have that confirmed, I will share that. But I guarantee it will be great. Thank Tatiana again. And I will see you all next Monday, 11 a.m. Central Time for Monday Mindset Mastery. Have an amazing day.
You too. And thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.